So here we go to the next segment. I'll give you an update from the Right Here, Right Now Global Climate Alliance, one of the most significant global initiatives that are positioned at the intersection of climate justice and human rights. The Right Here, Right Now Global Climate Alliance, with OHCHR as its global partner, is a sweeping international movement that unites universities, youth, civil society, and the private sector to confront the climate crisis as the defining human rights challenge of our time. Powered by a sense of urgency and purpose, Right Here, Right Now is placing people, especially those most vulnerable, at the center of climate action. Again, the founder, he's been founding a lot, David Clark, he's not only founded Call for Code, he's also founded the Right Here, Right Now Global Climate Alliance. And David will walk us through today's announcement, which is very important around this global movement.
Thank David. You. Is this on? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. As you know, I'm David Clark. Once again, it's a pleasure to be here. It's interesting. We are actually combining Call for Code with Right Here, Right Now, because it's our technical platform. Because I know a guy who knows a guy that can make that happen. So it's a privilege to join you here again. I want to express my deep gratitude to UN Human Rights, the Said Business School at the University of Oxford, and all our global partners for their unwavering commitment to this climate justice movement. Launched at COP26 in Glasgow with UN Human Rights as our global partner, we immediately enjoyed the support of iconic voices such as Leonardo DiCaprio, Barbra Streisand, Neil Young, the late Quincy Jones. Right Here, Right Now has rapidly grown into a leading climate justice alliance. From the historic halls of Oxford University to grassroots efforts across continents, Right Here, Right Now is helping to ignite a bold and increasingly unstoppable movement. Led by youth, grounded in equity, and committed to collective action. In alignment with the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, we champion and we focus on a rights-based approach to climate action, because solutions that protect human dignity are not only the more just, they're the most effective, the most sustainable, and the most transformative. What has emerged is a sweeping international effort uniting universities, youth, civil society, cultural institutions, influencers, and the private sector to confront the climate crisis as the defining human rights challenge of our time. And we have seen something remarkable. Music, art, theater, photography, sports, celebrity-driven social campaigns have helped carry this message to more than 2 billion people since we started, turning awareness into engagement and engagement into action. From Right Here, Right Now concerts with the Lumineers, Ellie Goulding, and recently Green Day, to powerful photo exhibits with the world's largest photo museum, Fotografiska. This movement speaks not only through diplomacy, science, education, and technology, but through creativity, inspiration, and shared humanity. This past June, the momentum reached an extraordinary milestone. The Right Here, Right Now Global Climate Summit was held at Oxford. Hosted by UN Human Rights and the University of Oxford, with co-host universities around the world, we brought together leaders from policy, law, science, business, culture, and youth. Oxford alone staged 38 events during that week, making it the largest climate justice summit of its kind. At the heart of the summit was the Right Here, Right Now Global Youth Climate Summit, convened by the Said Business School at Oxford. Students from 55 countries came together for panels, workshops, innovation labs, and cultural exchanges. What emerged was unmistakable. Youth are not the leaders of tomorrow. They are leading today. Their ideas, their energy, their courage are shaping the global response to this crisis. Their voices guide our work. They're included in the work. Their leadership gives the world reason for hope. That is why today marks an important next step. We are proud to announce a multi-year plan to have UN Human Rights and the Said Business School at Oxford annually host the Right Here, Right Now Global Youth Climate Summit every June 5th, UN World Environment Day. Our shared goal is to grow this gathering into the world's foremost Youth-Led Climate Justice Summit, a place where young people from every region can convene, collaborate, and help chart a more just and sustainable future. So today at RightsX, we're proud to announce that the theme for next year's summit is dedicated to exploring how climate technology and AI can accelerate the fight for climate justice. And now it's my honor to introduce a leader whose vision and partnership have been essential to this journey. So please welcome Joe Fawkes, the Director of Global Inclusion and Youth Education from the Said Business School at the University of Oxford. Joe?
Well, firstly, thank you. And I'm really thrilled to be here amongst you all today. And so a big thank you to the UN Human Rights for convening us here on this critical moment of shared reflection, ambition, and action. At the University of Oxford, and particularly within Said Business School, we're guided by a belief that education must be more than informative. It must be transformative. It must serve society, and it must reflect the diversity of the world we live in. We're here today because we know that climate change is not only an environmental crisis, it's a human crisis and a justice issue. It demands inclusive leadership, urgent innovation, and unwavering clarity. And at the center of all of that must be our young people. It's therefore a great privilege to announce today that we at Said Business School will be the home of the Right Here, Right Now Global Youth Climate Summit in partnership with UN for Human Rights. As David's just said, beginning every June on UN World Environment Day, we will convene youth voices and allies from around the world for a summit that is globally inclusive, action-orientated, and deeply grounded in the principles of human rights. The summit's not going to just be confined to a single campus or country. It'll be hybrid in design and decentralized in spirit with regional hubs across continents and virtual access. We'll work with students, teachers, innovators, and community leaders to ensure that this summit reflects both the urgency of the climate crisis and the extraordinary talent rising to meet it. At Said Business School, this is not our first step in this direction. So for the past 3 years, we've organized the Oxford Said Global Climate Change Challenge, now reimagined as the Oxford Said Global Climate Tech Challenge. This global competition invites high school students and teachers to design scalable, technology-driven climate solutions and lesson plans that serve communities and protect rights. What began as a pilot is now a global movement. Last year, the challenge received submissions from over 75 countries, including refugee camps in Jordan, remote schools in rural India, and students in cities from Sao Paulo to Seoul. Some of the ideas we've seen are bold, some are beautifully simple, all reflect a deep sense of care, ingenuity, and commitment. These experiences have taught us that young people are not only the most impacted by climate change, they're also amongst the most prepared to respond. And our role as an academic institution and global organization is to create those chances and champion those voices. With this new multi-year partnership, we're combining Oxford's academic rigor, global convening power, and inclusive learning ethos with the leadership of UN Human Rights and the visionary work of RHRN. We're proud to be joined by co-hosts, including the University of Colorado Boulder and other forward-thinking institutions around the world. As David said, the 2026 summit theme will center on climate technologies, exploring their potential for resilience and mitigation, but also interrogating their ethical implications. Who builds these tools? Whose access? How do we protect rights in an age of digital disruption and ecological instability? This is the conversation we want to have, not just about what is possible, but about who is it for. To every young person who joins us, this summit belongs to all of them, to you. It's a platform to lead, to collaborate, and to hold us accountable. And to every policymaker, donor, and partner watching today, we invite you to not only support this work, but be changed by it. Finally, let me say this. Hosting this summit is not a symbolic gesture for Oxford Said. It's a reflection of who we're becoming and who we must be. As a business school within the world's leading university, we're choosing to use our platform to amplify bold, young, ethical leadership, because the future isn't waiting. It's now my pleasure to hand over to someone who exemplifies that leadership and whose unwavering commitment to dignity and justice anchors this work. Our esteemed partner from the UN Human Rights, Dr. Rina Kuusipalo.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be here on behalf of the OHRN Environment and Climate Change Unit to add to what David and Joe have already said. I'll now speak to why UN Human Rights is committed to this partnership and why human rights are essential in an age of unprecedented technological change and climate crisis. We know, as has been said, that the climate crisis is a human rights crisis, threatening rights to life, health, food, a healthy environment, and disproportionately harming those least responsible. While the window for limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius is rapidly closing, alongside laws, policies, and action, the kinds of technologies that will be deployed in the next few years will shape outcomes for generations. The International Court of Justice's advisory opinion from this July affirmed that climate action is a matter of international human rights law, a testament to the power of the Pacific Islands Students Movement and others whose initiative led to this process. The court stated that future generations and long-term implications of conduct need to be taken into account and described protection of the environment as a precondition for the enjoyment of human rights. Young people inherit a climate crisis they did not create, yet will live with its consequences the longest. In another example of youth leadership, a group of young people in the US recently won a landmark lawsuit based on their state constitution, referring to a clean and healthful environment in Montana for present and future generations. Here, OHRN brings consideration of such legal frameworks to the Right Here, Right Now partnership, ensuring that innovation prioritizes human rights. Safeguards and standards don't slow innovation that's beneficial to humanity, but rather can guide it towards solutions that work for people and the planet, ensuring that human rights and dignity are embedded from the outset, from design and infrastructure to the uses of technology. The Secretary General has said that looking to the future, the two seismic shifts will shape the 21st century, the climate crisis and digital transformation. The UN Pact for the Future from last year includes commitments on AI governance for sustainable development, also annexing, importantly, the Global Digital Compact and the Declaration on Future Generations. Technologies hold the potential to support the climate response, to monitor emissions, track impacts, and support early warning systems for all. Co-development and transfer of climate technologies can support fairly and equitably shared innovations. Yet the human rights approach also requires serious consideration of risks. Technologies, as we've heard earlier today, are also concentrating power, excluding already marginalized groups, as well as using critical resources that are needed for realizing rights and renewable energy technologies as well. AI value chains consume increasingly massive amounts of water, energy, materials, producing emissions and waste. As we speak, the UN Environment Assembly in Nairobi is considering a draft resolution on environmental sustainability of artificial intelligence systems submitted by Kenya. Without rights-based course correction, resource extraction serving new technologies can risk reproducing harm. Climate-related data can also be misused, while AI-generated content can also contribute to climate disinformation. The current digital divide means that climate tech solutions may not, without proper policies and actions, reach those most affected, yet in whose geographies the material as well as immaterial resources powering such technologies are being extracted. Insofar as technology development demands energy, this could be an opportunity toward the equitable phase out of fossil fuels and renewables buildup. powered by the sun, among other things. And insofar as AI-related job losses may occur, policies could create green jobs that we so desperately need being done now. This is why human rights as safeguards and also as goals for technologies are essential to ensure that technology benefits not just the few. Since international human rights law can provide already agreed upon universal frameworks for human alignment, relevant questions can include how do we design human rights aligned AI that follows, for example, international human rights law and environmental law, and how sustainable is perpetual scaling of AI systems, and what would focusing on research, including human rights alignment, look like. So in closing, the 2026 summit is an opportunity to deliberate on such risks, as well as the many, many opportunities, bringing together young people to co-create solutions and also to advance their right to meaningful participation. And as we celebrate innovations, we should also commit to advancing human rights in the digital age, including the right to a healthy environment, empowering people with the tools needed to address the multiple crises of our times. So thank you again all, and thank you to our partners. The office looks forward to working with many of you toward June.
So on this note, I want to thank David, Joe, and Rina for being here. This is a wonderful partnership. We were last summer, before the summer, in Oxford at the Global Climate Summit, and saw the huge potential, and very excited about this continuing cooperation. Last year it was a 24-hour event. Is it still going to be a 24-hour event this year?
I think we could probably build it into 36.
36. I mean, people went through the night. It was exhausting, but that allowed people around the world to tune in and to be connected. So it was incredibly exciting, and of course, with youth around the world engaging around these very, very important issues. Climate and bringing climate and technology together. We're incredibly looking forward to yet another version, specifically with you, the Side Business School in Oxford. Thanks to everyone, and we have a third item. So thank you very much.